Season 2, Episode 6, Cutie Pox. This is another episode focusing on the Cutie Mark Crusaders. I'm Count Lurchalot, and this is Lukewarm Television. The episode begins with them going to the bowling alley, as they believe they are destined to get their cutie marks in bowling. They even come up with a new name for their trio, the Bowling Dolls. To cut a long story short, Sweetie Belle gets a miss, Scootaloo causes destruction, and Apple Bloom fails to knock down a single pin. They get no cutie mark, but another pony does, leaving all three of them devastated. Apple Bloom is particularly disappointed with the situation, so Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo try and cheer her up. They buy her a treat from Sugar Cube Corner, have Pinky throw her a party, and get a new outfit from Rarity. None of this works though, and Apple Bloom walks off into the Everfree Forest, still feeling blue. While in the forest, Apple Bloom trips over a log and falls down a hill, which ends with her chipping a tooth. Thankfully, Zecora is there and knows how to help her. They head to Zecora's hut, and Apple Bloom vents her problems to her. Unfortunately, Zecora just tells Apple Bloom the same thing, that a cutie mark is something she has to be patient about. This just annoys Apple Bloom, unfortunately, because in addition to every pony she knows telling her this, now every zebra she knows has told her this. To be fair though, you only know one zebra. Speaking of zebras, I used to think cutie marks were exclusive to ponies, but Zecora, a zebra, clearly has a cutie mark. Maybe they're close enough to horses or ponies to get cutie marks? I don't know. Anyway, Zecora finishes the remedy for Apple Bloom, who upon drinking it, manages to have her tooth mended. This is something the real world wishes they could have. It then occurs to Apple Bloom that not only does Zecora have remedies that fix the bad, she also has remedies that bring out the good. This makes Apple Bloom try to convince Zecora to make a remedy that will help her get a cutie mark, but Zecora states that there is no brew for that, and that the only remedy to get a cutie mark is time. Apple Bloom concedes, and then she sees Zecora brewing another potion, which uses an ingredient called Heart's Desire. This flower apparently helps one's talent come into view, which of course gives Apple Bloom a bad idea. One she puts into motion after Zecora has to leave to get another ingredient. The next day, Apple Bloom goes to school and appears to have her cutie mark. Problem is, no one knows what it's supposed to be. Apple Bloom clarifies that it's a loop-de-hoop. That's what Apple Bloom calls it anyway. I'm just going to say hula hoop though, because that's what most people will recognize it as. The mean fillies then appear and mock Apple Bloom's talent, but then she manages to impress all the ponies with her talent, which even surprises the mean fillies. Miss Cheerilee then appears and asks Apple Bloom to give them a lesson on her amazing talent, but not before name-dropping the series. Yes, I'm going to do this every time.
All right, my little ponies, time for class!
Apple Bloom proceeds to teach them more about hula hooping, but none of the young ponies are as good as she is. This leads to Apple Bloom showing more examples of her talent, which include being able to fly like a helicopter. However, eyebrows then rise when Apple Bloom suddenly gets a second cutie mark, this one in spinning plates. As you'll soon see, this should have been the first red flag that something was wrong. This leads to Diamond Tiara accusing Apple Bloom of having a fake cutie mark. However, Miss Cheerilee simply believes Apple Bloom has two special talents. They then tell Apple Bloom to prove it, but turns out she's very good at this as well. Now appearing to have two special talents, the ponies start to believe that Apple Bloom might just be the most special pony ever. This leads to Apple Bloom putting on a show for Ponyville, leaving the whole town impressed. Yet weirdly, none of them question how she can have two cutie marks. Guess they think she's just very special. In the evening, Apple Bloom returns home, where her family expresses pride in how she has two cutie marks. It's here we see another red flag, because despite looking exhausted, Apple Bloom is still hula hooping and spinning plates, almost like she can't stop. She even confirms she's tired and decides to go to bed. Later that night, Applejack is awoken by constant loud tapping that appears to be coming from Apple Bloom's room. Applejack goes into her room and is shocked to discover that Apple Bloom now has a third cutie mark in tap dancing. Apple Bloom then pleads for Applejack's help as she can't seem to stop. Even with Applejack's great strength, she can't get Apple Bloom to stop. They take her to see Twilight to see if she can figure out how to make this stop. While looking through a book about unusual equine illnesses, she discovers that Apple Bloom's ailment is called Cutie Pox. This is a disease where random cutie marks appear all over a pony's body and forces them to perform all the talents that come with them. To make matters worse, there's no known cure, as no one knows how it appeared, and it disappeared as quickly as it arrived. It's at this point Apple Bloom gains her fourth cutie mark, which grants her the ability to speak French. I'm going to keep a lookout for moments where the ponies speak other languages.
Sacré bleu! Nous demande de cutie! Qu'est-ce que c'est? Je parle français!
Knowing no pony can help them with a cure, they think Zecora might, so they go to see her. During this time, Apple Bloom gains more and more cutie marks, including sculpting, chimney sweeping, accordion playing, lion taming, chess, fencing, wire walking, and hang gliding. This leads the other residents to think she's cursed, but then Spike clarifies she just has a mysterious incurable disease, but this just causes them to panic more, and they all flee like school children running away from that one kid who has cooties. Before long, the town is abandoned. It's at this point Zecora arrives, and after expressing about how she thought the town no longer feared her, Twilight brings her up to speed on the situation, and Apple Bloom is now a physicist. This leads to a funny line of Applejack asking Zecora if her zebra sense brought her around. She's not Spider-Man, Applejack. Turns out the real reason Zecora is here is because she's looking for a special flower. She thought she had enough, but after her visit from Apple Bloom, some had mysteriously disappeared. I wonder why. While Apple Bloom's in the middle of bodybuilding, I wish I knew what the metric was on that dumbbell, she asks Apple Bloom if she knew where it went, but Apple Bloom is unable to answer, after which she starts cleaning windows. Zecora reveals she does have a cure. The healing power apparently comes from the seeds of truth. Unfortunately, they will only grow when the truth is spoken. There are some weird plants in this universe. Applejack quickly plants the seeds and demands some pony tell the truth. Before anyone speak up, Apple Bloom gets a tornado cutie mark. This leads to Pinkie Pie revealing some silly truths about herself. She confesses that she ate 3 corn cakes instead of 2 and nothing happens. She actually ate 6, but still nothing happens. However, Apple Bloom finally can't take it anymore and admits that she didn't earn her cutie mark. They're all fake, and how she used Zecora's Heart's Desire plant to get what she wanted most. This causes the plant to grow, and Apple Bloom is finally able to eat the cure she needs, causing all the cutie marks to disappear. It's here that Apple Bloom confesses she's never been happier to be a blank flank. She then apologizes to her friends for lying as she got carried away in her quest. She then apologizes to Zecora for taking her plant. Zecora forgives her because she knows that with each mistake, they learn something new. And because Apple Bloom was the one to learn a lesson this episode, Twilight asks her to send a message to Celestia. Apple Bloom learnt that waiting for your heart's desires can be really hard, but dishonesty through shortcuts don't work because you didn't earn what your heart desired. The only cure is to be honest with yourself and others, which is what every heart desires. At first it appears that the Crusaders have learnt their lesson about being patient, but then they show they haven't, as they quickly go back to trying to find their special talents. They'll learn eventually. What I liked about this episode is that I think it's another many can relate to, as I'm sure we're all guilty of taking shortcuts to achieve our heart's desires, but it's only when we really work for them that we achieve them. I just hope most people learn this lesson quicker than the Crusaders. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you at the next review.